Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. All right, welcome back. Always a delight to have Bryan Platt back in the studio with us today. He heads up Jackson County Right to Life, and I've asked Bryan to come in and give us an update on where we are with the petition drive in the state of Oregon to get on the ballot this November to stop your state tax dollars for paying for 11 abortions a day in the state of Oregon. That's what's happening right now. Good to see you, Bryan.
Well, thank you, Perry.
What's going on? Where are we?
Well, okay, so I want to roll back the clock a little bit,
okay,
and start with how we got ourselves in this position in the first place.
All right.
And it really has to do with regulations that the Supreme Court rulings back in 1973 allowed for the states to do on their own. And so Oregon, unfortunately, and if you have that chart, Perry, maybe we can get
I have the
one of the guys
chart.
This is the chart, and it's you know, we can talk about how we're not a very well regulated state with respect to abortion, but this you just can't make it any more graphic than this. So here we have a list of all 50 states. Across the top here, I didn't really write those, but we have little boxes, and represented by color are the types of restrictions on abortion that states have individually enacted through their own legislatures. So we start up here with Oklahoma. I think if you counted the boxes, there are 23 regulations that they have enacted. Each regulation in and of itself may not be earth-shattering, but the net effect is it will restrict the number of abortions that are being performed in that state over time. So we follow this down. We're going through here, coming through the Bible Belt and all the way down, and
at the
move your
bottom,
coffee cup here.
Oregon is at the bottom with no restrictions.
None.
None.
And the result of that is the National Abortion Rights Action League considers Oregon the #1 place, you know, as far as abortion rights. Wow. And you know, it's shameful. I mean, it's shameful. It's shameful for the state. It's shameful for us as Christians that we haven't been able to be effective in lobbying and getting our message across. I mean, we know that we have all kinds of dedicated people out there that are just, you know, sad about this situation. So the petition that we're circulating now seeks a kind of a common sense approach to a way to restrict abortion. And the reason I say it's kind of a common sense, or maybe common ground approach, if you want to use that term, is that the petition doesn't ban any abortions. What it does is it gives you or I, as taxpayers, an option as to whether we want our tax money to fund abortions in the state of Oregon, and that is happening through the Oregon Health Plan. The Oregon Supreme Court ruled back in 1984 that public funds can be used to fund abortion. And we're not talking, I think this is a huge distinction for people out there, is we're not talking about medically necessary, you know, literally the life of the mother, those kinds of issues that are kind of, you know, are a little edgy. This is we're talking about elective abortions in the state of Oregon. So over the last 10 years, for example, $16 million in tax money have paid for over 38,000 Oregon babies to be killed in their mother's wombs. And it's getting worse in terms of percentages. The number of abortions performed each year in the state, it's actually trending down a little bit, but the number of those abortions being paid for by our tax money through the Oregon Health Plan is going up, where we're almost half of all the abortions are being paid for by, if we pay state taxes, we're paying for those abortions to the tune of about 11 babies a day. 11
babies a day. When I heard this, and I've been watching this ever since Bryan brought this to my attention, 11 babies a day are dying in the state of Oregon, and we, Christians, are paying for it. It's intolerable. So what we have here is a petition drive to stop that.
We do. So the petition drive, so to set this up and again a little bit further, is initiative petitions in the state of Oregon can be done by any citizen, and there, you know, there's a process that goes through, and you can either choose to place a petition on the ballot that has to do with just a legislative act, just a law, or you can choose to do it as a constitutional amendment. As a constitutional amendment, it precludes the chances that the state legislature could undo it. It has a higher bar, requires more signatures to be qualified for the ballot. We're talking 116,000 signatures, valid signatures, to qualify this thing to get on the ballot. We're talking about putting it on the ballot in November of this year, November 2014, the general ballot. So we need to get 116,000 plus, because you're going to have some errors and duplicates and things like that. So that's where we're at. We're gathering the petitions, signatures for the petition. This is our second effort. We got about 60,000 signatures. I'm sorry, about 70,000 signatures 2 years ago. Right now we're at 61 or 63,000 statewide. But and it seems like, wow, there's a long ways to go. I mean, we need to double that up, and we are running out of time. I mean, in the sense, we have the entire month of June. The signatures need to be into the Secretary of State's office, I think the last day of June or the first day of July, something like that. So we have about a month and a half, something, just roughly, to do this. The good news is the last 10 or 11 months we've been working on this. We're handing out sheets, these sheets that the people sign and whatnot. So we've laid really a vast foundation or framework to still make this happen in the time. So it's not, there's no reason to say, oh, we've run out of time, we just can't do that. No, the sheets are out there. We just need to get the response. Primarily, we're hoping from the church.
Okay. How's the church doing on it?
Well, so each county is given a signature goal. Jackson County, just as an example, is given a goal of 10,000 signatures. I do have a list here, because we reach out beyond Jackson County, of where our signature gathering effort is expressed as a percentage in the area, the Dove area. So Jackson County, we're at 53% of our goal. Klamath is 62% of their goal. Josephine County, 64%. Curry, 54%. Coos, 30%. Douglas, 41%. So there's momentum, but we're short. Okay. So in Jackson County, for an example, Perry, we have a list of churches, and I'm hoping we can get that on the screen for the TV viewers. But we have a list of churches who have been responsive with respect to getting, the signature thing circulated. And I'll read them just really quickly, because I know we have radio audience. We have Trail Community, Trail Christian Fellowship, Eagle Point Community Bible, Shady Cove Assembly, New Song Bethel, Bear Creek, West Main Church of Christ, Medford First Naz, Cornerstone, Grace and Central Point, First Baptist in Medford, Household of Faith in Central Point, Harvest Time in Gold Hill, Mountain Christian Fellowship, downtown Medford, Sacred Heart in Medford, Hope Christian, Central Point, Foots Creek, and Rogue River. Those are the ones that we know have circulated the petition. So if you're listening and your church wasn't on that list, it may be that I don't have 100% accurate, but we're appealing to you to approach the leadership of your church and ask them for permission. Now, we've gone over and over the legality issues. There is none. There's no legal issue whatsoever with respect to the church's 501c3 status. This is completely legal with respect to the IRS. So what this is an issue of getting the leadership to sign on and allow a few circulators, and it can be people within the body of that church, or we have a group that has offered to be volunteers. We'll come to the church. No pressure, no in-your-face, no graphic image. I mean, it's none of that. It's simply a clipboard with the sheet. If you're a registered voter, we ask if you'd be interested in signing it. And that will get us the signatures we need if we can get into enough churches.
What's glaring to me on that list is who's not on it. And I would say to pastors who are wrestling with this, and those who have even turned it down, I would ask you to prayerfully reconsider this. I think that of all the things we battle in our country and in our state hinges on whether or not we get the life issue right. We got a lot of social problems. But of all the things that we get involved in and all the things that God has created, there's only one thing that He's created in His likeness and His image, and that is a human being. The sanctity and the sacredness of human life. And for you pastors who are wrestling with this, you board members who sit on a church board or an eldership board or however your church is structured that has turned this down, I'm asking you, I am begging you to reconsider having a Sunday where the pastor will get up and ask the congregation to sign this petition. What's glaring to me is the amount of large churches that are not on that list, and they should be on that list. This is not offensive. This is not political, even though we have to battle it in the political arena. This is 100% spiritual. And so, pastors, I'm asking you, please prayerfully reconsider or consider for the first time. Board members and elders, prayerfully reconsider or consider for the first time to get a hold of Bryan and let them do all the legwork and have a day where you will open up your congregation to sign this petition. Please. I beg you to do that.
Perry, a couple things that strike me as you speak is, one is, by no means are we trying to place another burden of responsibility and more time, commitment on the leadership of the church. We are really pretty adept at getting in and getting these signatures in a very non-offensive, non-confrontational way. So we have the volunteers. All we need is that permission. And, I've asked a couple of pastors if their determination is that it's not appropriate for their church, where the scriptural justification for that position is. And quite frankly, I haven't heard that yet. And I'm not trying to cast aspersions anywhere. And I really am a flowchart kind of guy. I mean, clearly the Bible has a flowchart of responsibility and accountability. And I'm below the pastors. I'm not a pastor. I'm not in the ministry. I respect a pastor's decision if he decides not to. But I'd like to know where the scriptural justification for not doing this is. And for those of you out there who can just pray, or the Dove and the Jackson County Right to Life prayer warriors, we need your prayers to break through some barriers at some of these churches.
Well, folks, I don't know how to say this without almost getting emotional about it, but I got to say, pastors and elders and board members, pray about this today, and get a Sunday between now and, say, Father's Day or whatever. And I think it has to go where either you assign somebody to get in front of your congregation, or you as the leader, the pastor, gets up in front of the congregation and say, today we are going to ask you to sign a petition if you feel comfortable, and Bryan's crew will be outside the door to take the signatures. We got to get this thing pushed over. Think of it this way: 11 babies a day in the state of Oregon are dying because our tax dollars are paying for that. So this is, well, I don't want to start preaching here, but please just get a hold of Bryan, get a hold of me. I'll get you in touch with Bryan.
Yeah, call the Dove. Now, it's really easy to make contact for those of you in any of the counties that hear this broadcast. Simply go on the web to www.oregon2014.org. So that's the official petition website. And when you come up on the home page, there's a map of Oregon all divided by counties, and you simply click on the county in which you live, and not only will it bring up information on how the signature gathering effort is going in your county, but there's contact information there for Josephine County, Steve Raycraft, for Douglas County, such and such. So you click on your county on that website page, Oregon2014.org, and that will get you in contact with the person that's leading the effort in your county. So that's really easy.
All right, we have an event coming up.
Well, we do, and Perry, I got to thank you. This was just a stroke of genius as far as I'm concerned. And what it is you guys, you routinely go out to Malello's, and I mean, we know Steve is capable of drinking most of Malello's coffee in a single drink by himself, so he leads the crew off to Malello's on a regular basis. But anyhow, so next Thursday, so a week from today,
right,
from sun up to maybe not quite sundown,
6 to 6,
you guys are doing a Malello's coffee promotion over there.
Yep,
I think it's what, $1 off or something.
Well, I don't know what all the incentives are yet. We'll give those to you early next week, but we will be doing live remotes from. This is the Malello's behind Costco.
Yeah.
Their little coffee shop there. Their little barista hut there, and. We will be doing some live cut-ins from there in the morning show. Jerry Bilden, will be broadcasting out there from 4 to 6, and we'll be in and out throughout the day. That's part one. But we're asking you to drive through and or just come on by, whatever you want to do. You don't have to buy anything to do this. Come on by, sign the petition. But we also will be giving away discount certificates, and we'll be putting names in the hat for.
I think Sal's going to offer a month of free coffee. That was when we went out there, a month of free coffee. So so that's all a bunch of fun. So support Sal, and support him in prayer, because he's going to need it.
He is,
as a business owner.
He's sticking his neck out here. I want to say thank you, Sal.
Yes, indeed.
He just drew a line in the sand and said, "I'm doing this."
This is, and and it's clear to him. It's he's absolutely comfortable with it. So we're going to be there just on the other side or whatever with our petition sheet. So come and get your $1 off, or enter for the 30 days. It doesn't
30
get
days
any
of caffeine high. try.
It doesn't get any better than that, I don't think, if you're a coffee fiend. You know, and so we'll be there from 6 in the morning until 6 at night, and it sounds like a lot of fun, and get to meet some people, and yeah, promote the petition
It'll
cause.
be great. So it's all a week from today, next Thursday. We'll be at Sal Malello's, Malello's Coffee right behind Costco, and the whole point is to have you come on by and sign the petition. Bryan, thank you.
Yep.
We'll talk a lot about this next week, but again, pastors, please prayerfully consider allowing a petition Sunday in your church soon, very soon, within the next couple of weeks. And thank you to those churches who are already involved. And if you haven't signed the petition, what do they do?
Go to Oregon2014.org, click on your county. That'll put you in touch with the people that have the information for you.
You can sign right there. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.